Good afternoon, Tijans, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Road Safety Chat on Traffic Desk with TD2. Today, we want to look at another exciting topic. This topic, we're calling it parking of motor vehicles. I know, to some people, parking of motor vehicles, they think it's not an issue. They can literally park anywhere because we've seen how people just literally park their motor vehicles without due care and reasonable consideration to other road users. Now, do you know that you don't just park your motor vehicle anyhow? Because if you do that, you might find yourself being charged with an offense of wrong parking. All right? You might find yourself being charged with an offense of obstruction of roadway, contrary to section 188. So today on our lunch break chat or the road safety chat, I want us to remind each other on how we are supposed to park our motor vehicles. Is there legislature? Is there laws or rules that govern how we should park these motor vehicles? Is what I want us to look at today on this very exciting topic of parking of motor vehicles. As a driver, it's important you know where and when you can park your motor vehicle, because if you don't do that, you might find yourself being charged with wrong parking, okay, which is a very expensive price to pay now instead of just doing the correct thing, okay? So parking wrongly can put your vehicle and other road users at risk. Do you know that parking wrongly can not just put your life but other road users at risk as well? So let's look at quickly what places we are allowed and we are not allowed to park our motor vehicles. Now, we're going to have to look at a piece of legislation. As you know, as Traffic Desk, we always do research. We look at the Road Traffic Act and various statutory instruments that have been enacted to enhance safety. So we look at section 186 of the Road Traffic Act, number 11 of 2002. Of course, we try and simplify it so that it's in form where everyone can understand. We don't want to read word by word because some of you might get lost. So in a nutshell, section 186 of the Act prohibits parking in contravention of any traffic sign. Parking in contravention of any traffic sign. What does this mean? I'll give an example. There is a do not stop sign, no stopping sign, okay, or a speed limit sign which says 80. Then you go and park your vehicle on that sign, meaning that drivers that are passing on that road are not going to be able to do what? To see that sign, okay? So you are going to be charged under section 186 of the Act. It means that you have parked in contravention of any traffic sign. So when you are parking your motor vehicle, make sure you're not blocking any traffic sign where you are parking. Okay? It's very, very important. Do not block any traffic sign when you are parking. Do not park on a fire hydrant. Okay? If you park where you are blocking the fire hydrant, you are committing an offense under section 186. So every time you're parking, make sure you don't park where there's a fire hydrant, because where there's a fire hydrant, that's where a fire engine is supposed to come and get water to go and quench some fire somewhere. There could be a house that is burning or a car that is burning, and then the fire engine needs to come and get water from a fire hydrant to go and quench off that fire. Now, if they find that your vehicle is parked where there is a fire hydrant, you are committing an offense under section 186. So we've talked about parking where you are obstructing any traffic sign. Before you park, make sure there's no traffic sign. Secondly, fire hydrant. Do not park on a fire hydrant. Make sure that you avoid parking on a sidewalk or a footpath. I've seen how some people park their vehicles on a sidewalk or on a footpath. Now, if you park on a sidewalk or a footpath, here is a question: where are the pedestrians going to walk from? Because you've parked where they're supposed to walk from. If they walk on the middle of the road, you're going to hit them. Other vehicles will hit them. So please also avoid parking on a pedestrian footpath or a pedestrian sidewalk. It's an offense. Also, blocking of a private or public entry point. If you come and park at my yard, my gate, where I'm supposed to use, which I'm supposed to use to enter into my public place, you are actually committing an offense. If you park at an entrance to a company, a corporate institution, where everybody's going in and coming out, and then you go and park and block, under section 186, you are committing an offense. That is wrong parking. So avoid parking that will block entrance to either a private entity, a private house, or a corporate like a company. It's very important we don't park at that entrance. Now, blocking of a private or public entry is also an offense. Do not also park on a yellow line or yellow box. Now, I've seen this a number of times. Some drivers park in a yellow box. You are committing an offense if you park in a yellow box. In case you don't know where the yellow box is, I'll give an example of the one that is along Church Road, right at the entrance to the fire brigade office. There's a yellow box there. The reason why it is there, and it must be kept clear at all times, in case of an emergency, the fire engine wants to go out, you should not be found having blocked there. Okay? You should not be found having blocked there. So do not park on a yellow box. All right? There's also one at Central Police. So please, every time you're driving and you see a yellow box, if there's congestion, make sure you stop. Don't try and force yourself until you block the yellow line. Now, do not also park within 5 meters of any intersection. At an intersection, within 5 meters from an intersection, do not park. Why? Because you're going to block the view of people that are joining at that intersection. They're not going to be able to check if there's traffic coming where they want to turn. So, 5 meters from an intersection, a junction, please do not park. If you do that, you're going to be charged for wrong parking. Also, do not park at no parking zones. There are zones that are designated for no parking. It's very important that you do not park where there is a signpost saying no parking. Now, there's also one thing that I've noticed personally, especially at malls. If you go at shopping malls, you find there are those parking spaces which are designated for people that are physically challenged, all right? People that are physically challenged, they've got these parking slots. Please, if you're not physically challenged, do not go and park where it is reserved for people that are physically challenged, especially at shopping malls. Let's all leave those parking spaces for people that are physically challenged. So it's important that, guys, even at shopping malls, when we are parking, let's be considerate. Let's not park where we are not supposed to park. If it says this parking is for physically challenged persons, let's respect that and leave it for those that are physically challenged. That's what I wanted us to remind each other about today. Thank you very much, guys, for joining the conversation. We'll see you again. And for this and many, many, many more interesting, educative road safety videos, please do go to our road safety page on YouTube, Traffic Desk Zambia. Subscribe, and then you're going to see this and many more educative videos. Thank you very much, Tijans. We'll see you again.